Okay, we left off Lamed Ches Amar Aleph. We left off, the Gemara had said that if you're of the interpretation of the opinion that Moshe V'Seichem means your communities, the Pasuk in Yoshua that it says they only ate of the new grain on the 16th of Nisan is very good because they weren't permitted to eat the Chodosh. So what was the first time they were able to eat Chodosh? After the Korban Omer was brought, which was on the 16th. El Lamad Yomar, this is where we're at. La'achi Yerusha Yeshiva. But according to the opinion that they're permitted, that wherever it says Moshe V'Seichem means after conquering and settling the land, which is 14 years, Nechol Alter, wanted to eat up the new grain immediately. Lavet Shrichi. The answer is they didn't have to. Meaning, halachically, they were permitted, but they didn't have to. It wasn't necessary. Dechsiv, Ubnei Yisrael ochlu esamon arboim shano. Ad boam eleretz no shovis. It says, Klal Yisrael, they ate of the month for 40 years, until they came to Eretz no shovis. What's Eretz no shovis? That's the settled location. Meaning, this is after they crossed the Yarden. When they were in Eretz Yisrael proper, esamon ochlu ad boam at ksei oretz. They ate the mon until they came to the edge of the land, the edge of Canaan. Say Eretz Canaan. What's the edge? That's before they crossed the Yarden. So we have a contradiction in the Pasuk. It says, Bnei Yisrael ate the mon until they came to the land that was settled, meaning the settled location, even though they weren't settled yet. Meaning, after they ate it even after they crossed the Yarden. Then it says, they ate the mon ad boam el ksei Eretz Canaan. Only until they came to the edge of Canaan, meaning the border. That's before they crossed the Yarden. So more ask the question. You can't say they ate the mon, continued to eat the mon even when they were in Eretz Yisrael. They only ate it until they came to the border. The Evshalom at Ksei Eretz Canaan, Rekvar Nemar at Boam El Oretz No Shavis. Hoketzad. So how do we reconcile both statements of the pasuk? So you with me? Okay. Hoketzad. B'shiva ba'ador meis Moshe. Now the Gemara says in Tainis that, interesting, the Gemara quotes a pasuk that the 3 shepherds of Klal Yisrael passed away during the same month. Miriam, Aaron, and Moshe passed away during the same month. We can have it soon in Daf Yomi. So how could you say that? Each one passed away during a different month. Miriam passed away this month, Aaron passed away in Av, and Moshe passed away in Adar. So what does it mean? The Shlosha Roim passed away during 1 month. So Mara says that when Miriam passed away, it says each one of the gifts that Hashem gave us in the desert were in the merit of each one of the parnasim, of the leaders. The bear was B'schusa Shel Miriam. After Miriam passes away, what happens? The wellspring ceases. So what happens? It's reinstated in the merit of Moshe Rabbeinu. The Anei HaKavod were in the schus of Aaron. So when Aaron passes away, the Anei HaKavod, the clouds of glory cease to be. Again, the reinstated merit of Moshe. So now, the Gemara says, so what is the merit of Moshe? The bear Shel Miriam, the Anei HaKavod and the Mon. What happens when Moshe passes away? Because the Mon was B'schusa Shel Moshe, everything ceases. They only appreciated the loss of the 3 Roim when everything ceased to be. Of course, each one of the Roim passed away during their month. However, they didn't feel the lack of the Roim only until Moshe passed away, because then they lost everything at one moment. So since the Mon was B'schusa Shel Moshe, when did the Mon stop falling? When Moshe passes away, there's no longer Mon. Mon doesn't fall any longer. So therefore it says, Shiva Ba'ador Meis Moshe. Uposak Mon L'Bileirid. Moshe passes away on the 7th of Adar, and the Mon ceases to fall. Okay, so what did they eat? Well, although normally the Mon became putrid in the morning, there was a nest. The Mon lasted. and they were able to be sustained with the mun in their vessels until the 16th of Nisan. So you have a choice. Eat physical food, the grain of Canaan, or eat the mun, which is miracle food. So they're factually, halachically, they were permitted to eat. They were permitted to eat the chodesh. Because what does Moshe Seichen mean? Conquest and settling in the land. So that was so the law of chodesh was the restriction for them. But since they had the mun shebekleim, the mun in their vessels, which lasted until the 16th, so why should they eat ordinary food if they had this miracle food to eat? Well, it's indicated from these two psukim. That's so reconciled. It says they ate the man even until they were settled in the land, their permanent location, and then it says they ate the man. They had the man only at Kseoritz, meaning when they came to the border of the land. So we say it fell until the border, but they were able to bring it in. That was the miracle. It lasted beyond that. We'll see in a moment. It didn't exist any longer. The whole thing was a miracle. We'll see. As much as you eat, you can't eat more. It's like the lechem upon him. You eat a crumb, you can't eat more than a crumb.
No, I know how they had enough.
Because it's the pasuk. It says in the pasuk they only ate of the new grain mochras haPesach. That's the original pasuk we quoted. So it's not because they had to wait for the korban omer. It's because then they no longer had what to eat. Since they had no longer what to eat, that's why they ate of the new grain.
They knew that the man wouldn't last except in Shabbos. And they were not permitted to save it because it would spoil. They would criticize it.
They had to eat it. They had to eat it totally. They had to consume it.
They had to consume it totally. So where did the leftovers come? Why would we...
Wait 1 second. We read in the Torah, the first Shabbos, they came to Moshe, we still have the sufficient, we have a portion. He says, oh, I didn't tell you. Friday you get a double portion. So over here, Moshe wasn't there to tell them, this is lasting, because originally Hashem says to Moshe, for 40 years they will eat the man. It's not 40 years. So, wait, how do you have 40 years? That means they're going to be, because they didn't start eating man the moment they left Egypt. Right? It was only a month later. The Gemara is going to make the calculation in a moment. That it was a full 40 years that they ate the man. So this is part of from Zion, Adar, until the 16th of Nisan, they ate the man. That was the leftover. That goes into the 40 years of eating man.
They would
couldn't consume it. They couldn't consume it. That's what I mentioned, like the show. Time of Shimon HaTzadik, a coin would receive a crumb no larger than a bean. They couldn't eat more than that. They were sated. So what do we say? It doesn't say they had to destroy the man. They had to consume the man. They weren't able to consume it. This happened until the 16th of Nisan. Never. That you had to intentionally leave over, so that they weren't permitted to leave over.
So what did they do?
They would eat everything. Everything would be. There'd be no leftovers.
They couldn't eat everything.
So what doesn't say. They ate everything. If you attempted to eat everything, everything was consumed.
Why not now?
Because they couldn't consume everything.
What was different between...
It was a miracle. Everything is a miracle. It says, as much as you gathered, as much as you didn't gather, you did your best, you always had sufficient. How does that work? Right? That's explicit in the Torah. When they went to gather the man, every Jew, regardless of his ability, always had the right amount. How? The answer is, of course, that was the miracle. That was part of the miracle. So normally, you attempt to eat everything, everything's consumed. Whatever you need is consumed. After Moshe passed away, as much as you ate, there was always left over. Always enough for the next day and the next day. That was the miracle. Even after it stopped falling. It stopped falling on the 7th of Adar. Well, let's go. We'll see.
You're saying it's like the Hanukkah. It's sort of like that.
Correct.
The oil lasted...
This is part of the nest. This is a nest. It's a miracle.
The Gemara is not drawing that out. But I mean,
We'll see in a moment. Let's finish the Gemara, then we'll make the points. Tanya Idach. We learned another brisa. U'bnei Yisrael ochlu es hamon arboim shana. The Jews ate the mon 40 years. Okay? Someone asks, "V'chi arboim shana ochlu? V'alei arboim shana choseh shloshim yom ochlu." Right? They ate the mon 40 years minus 30 days. Because when did we first have the mon? When they complained in the Midbar. That was the 16th of what? Of Iyar. That wasn't when we left Egypt. El lomalach ugo shotzi Mitzrayim tomu b'em tamon. That the cakes that they took out of Egypt, it had the same taste as the mon. That was a part of the miracle. But tomu tamon doesn't make a difference. This is part of the miracle. To b'em tamon. Okay. Tanya Idach, we have another brisa. B'shiva ba'ador meis Moshe. Moshe passed away on the 7th of Adar. U'b'shiva Adar nolad. And he was born on the 7th of Adar. He passed away on the same day. Minayin sheb'shiva os ba'adar mes. How do we know he passed away on the 7th of Adar? Shenemar. Vayomas Moshe ever Hashem. Uchsi vayivku b'nei Yisrael es Moshe ba'arvis Moav shloshim yom. It says the Jews, they cried for Moshe, they grieved over him for 30 days. Uchsiv. Vayachri Moshe ever Hashem. Uchsiv. Moshe avdi mes. Vato kum avor. Now that Moshe, my servant, has passed away, has died, now cross. Kum avor. Cross the Jordan. Uchsiv. Avru bekerev hamachneh. Vitziv v'som lema. Hachin l'chem tzedo. So they gave the word, they sent out the word in the camp. Prepare for yourself provisions. Kibot shloshes yomim tavru es hayarden. In 3 days we're crossing the Jordan. Uchsiv. Va'om odu min hayarden b'asar l'chodesh. They crossed the Jordan on the 10th of Nisan. Chodesh Harishon. 10th of Nisan. Okay? So now they were told, right? They grieved for Moshe 30 days. Then they said in 3 days we're crossing the Jordan, and they arrived on the other side of the Yarden, the 10th of Nisan. Seimei shloshim v'shloshi yomim lemafreya. And this is Yoshua ready. It says Moshe mes. Wait. Good. Seimei shloshim u'shloshi yomim lemafreya. So we have 33 days initially. Holamartus, if you duck 33 days, Holamartus should be Shiva ba'adar mes Moshe. So we see from there, Moshe passed away on the 7th of Adar. U'minai should be Shiva ba'adar nolad. Moshe, how do we know he was born on the 7th of Adar? Shenemar. Okay, I think. No, the Gemara will not discuss that. We'll discuss it in a moment. So it says, and how do we know he was born on the day that he died? Shnem of Yom Aliyim. He said to them, this is the last day of his life. V'mea v'eshim shona anoch hayom. Lo uchal od lotzis v'lovo. Today I am 120 years old, and I can no longer go and come. Shein Talmud Lom Hayom. What is the yom? You should say Yom Aliyim v'mea v'eshim shona anochi. What's the hayom today? Today I'm exactly 120 years old. Matam hayom b'lamei sh'HaKadosh Baruch Hu yoshim al l'shnosem shel tzadikim. Hashem provides the full years for the tzadikim. Miyom liyom mechodesh l'chodesh. From day to day, the chodesh l'chodesh. Shenemar es mispar yomecha mali. The number of your days I will complete. I will make full. No. No, it says, today I was born. The Hayom tells me he was born that day. The day is ninth day he was born. Now the Gemara says, and why did he pass away on the day that he was born? Because Hashem provides full years for tzaddikim. He provides full years for tzaddikim. That's the other part. Es mispo yomecha amali. right? I will fill the days of the number of your days. That Moshe passed away on the day that he was born is from the word Hayom. Now, why did he pass away on that day? Because Hashem provides a full life for a tzaddik. The full years. Right? Doesn't say. Doesn't say. So it doesn't mean to say. So they explain. It doesn't mean to say every tzaddik passes away on the day that he's born. But but tzaddikim, there are tzaddikim who live the full lives, full years. I mean, we're going to have today's Daf Yomi. Shmuel HaRamosi, Shmuel HaNavi, passed away at 52, the same day that he was born. The day that he was born, that's the day that he passed away. Shmuel HaNavi. What? Right. I think the Medrash, it's not clear from sorry man who lived 127 years. It says she passed away exactly on the day that she was born. Also brings the pasuk, brings out the pasukim also. Not all tzaddik. What determines who yes, who not? Only God knows. Okay, let's go further. Tanya, Reb Shimi Yochai Omer, Sholosh mitzvos nitztavu yisor b'chnisos l'oretz. No, sir, that's the only way we have 40 years. No, sir, therefore they had to continue eating the man. Otherwise, we don't have the, right? We don't have the. No, we had a number of problems. Firstly, you have to say the cakes they took out of Egypt tasted like man, because the man only fell the 16th of Iyar, 30 days after they left Egypt. And in addition, if the man stopped falling on the 7th of Adar, when Moshe passed away, so what did they eat till they finally, only 33 days later did they cross the Yarden? So we're saying it was a miracle that the man remained for 33 days, and that was. So if they had a choice of eating man or eating the new grain, even when they came, they ate of the man. They did not eat the new grain.
We have seen that when it comes to years and the calculation of years, the majority of the year sometimes counts as a year. And it has to do with the new year and the calculations of the
Even a month.
Even a month. So here we went and said it had to be exact. We didn't say that the 40 years could be approximately 40 years. We're making calculations and we're taking it very literally. There's other times we don't.
Okay. They do speak about it. They do speak about it. Yeah. No. The matzah they ate at the Seder. You know, you can't be yotzu with man. Okay, good. So if you can't be yotzu, so what, according to the opinion that Moshe Vosech means conquest and settling, correct. What did they eat at the Seder? They ate the new grain. Right?
They didn't conquest and settle it.
You don't need conquest. The provision of Chodesh only comes into being when it's Moshe Vosechem.
When Yerusha and Yeshiva.
So that's when the provision, the Isser of Chodesh.
No, I'm talking about the ones that hold.
So that the Gemara says, the ones, according to the opinion that Moshe Vosechem means your communities, right. The provision was in place immediately. So that's why the Pasuk says, when did they eat of the Chodesh? Only on the 16th. What happened on the 16th? They brought the Korban Omer. That's how we started. But according to the other opinion, why couldn't they eat Chodesh immediately? So that more answers because they had the month to eat. If you have a choice eating mon or eating grain, you eat mon.
So on the 16th of Nisan, the month was over. And
Correct.
They only had,
so all they had was the new grain. But not because they brought the Omer.
Right.
It was permitted.
They eat whatever they want.
Exactly. So what did they eat at the Seder?
They ate
Chodesh. According to the first opinion, they ate Yoshan. Right? Because it was a day earlier. You only bring the korban the next day. Okay? Not complicated. Ton Rabbanon. Tanya, Reb Shimon Choy Omer, Sholosh mitzvahs nistavu Yisrael b'chnisoson la'oretz. Shimon Choy says 3 mitzvahs they were commanded when they entered into the land. V'nogos bein ba'oretz, bein b'chutz la'oretz. And the mitzvahs are in effect whether you're in Eretz Yisrael or chutz la'oretz. Vu'adin. Shiniyin agu. And it's logical that they should be in effect, both in Eretz Yisrael and chutz la'oretz. Now listen, Huadin means, it's based on the principle of Kal V'chom. Huadin, Uma chodosh ein yisuru yisur. Right, chodosh is only a temporary provision. Vein yisur yisur hano. And what is the nature of the provision when it is forbidden? You're not permitted to eat it, you're permitted to benefit from the new grain. Correct? You're permitted to benefit. V'yesh hetel yisuro. And what was not permitted becomes permitted. Second, let's see Rashi. Sheni suri sirolam, elo ko shisha benison, d'chsiv etzam yom hazeh. Veni suri isirola hano. Let's talk about that. Okay. Sheni suri isirolam. Elo koshisha osa benison, d'chsir ad etzim. Only the 16th of the day. Now, there's a machlokas we had in Rosh Hashanah. It says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, one of his enactments were that on the 16th of Nisan, you're not permitted to eat chodesh. Correct? That was one of his enactments. One of them is that you have to take a lulav for 7 days. One of them that you don't receive witnesses after Chatzos, whatever, after Mincha on Rosh Hashanah. So he made it. Now, why? Because normally, what permits Chodosh? The Omer. What happens if you don't have a korban Omer? So there's the question, immediately, sunrise in the morning is permitted. If you have no Beis HaMikdash. If you have a korban, you have to wait for the korban. If there is no korban, it's permitted immediately in 16th in the morning. So what's going to be? Shemi Yibona Beis HaMikdash. What happens if the Beis HaMikdash is going to be built? What are people going to say? Last year we ate Omer immediately in the morning. So what's going to be next year when the Beis HaMikdash is going to be built? They're not going to wait for the korban Omer. But there's a Torah prohibition, not permitted to eat the Chodosh. So therefore he says that Yom HaNef, the whole day is forbidden. It's not permitted. The 16th is not, rabbinically, it's not permitted. Until the night. Rabbinically, until the nighttime. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. He says no. If you have a korban omer, when you bring korban omer, it's permitted. If you have no korban omer, on a Torah level, the whole 16th day is off limits. So over here, on the Torah level, you're not permitted. You have to wait for the 17th day. According to Rabbi Yehuda, you didn't need a special enactment for this. You didn't need a special enactment, according to Rabbi Yehuda. So the question is, even Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, when it says he was Msake, it doesn't mean it was rabbinic. After he heard Rabbi Yehuda's position, he made it public knowledge, therefore you're not permitted to eat the Omer the 16th day. That's what the Gemara says in Rosh Hashanah. Right. Now, Rashi says, Shisha Osa B'Nisan D'Chsiv Atzam Yom Hazeh. Rashi says the whole 16th day, because he learns Ad V'Ad B'Chlal. So it seems from Rashi, the Rishash makes this point, from Rashi it seems to say he's going according to the opinion, which we don't rule like that opinion. Like Rabbi Yehuda, that if one doesn't have the Korban Omer, Chodesh is forbidden the whole 16th day, which is unusual in the Rashi. Why should Rashi take on the position which is not the halachic position? Right? We hold it's only rabbinically, it's not permitted the whole day. On the Torah level it's permitted, but Rashi seems to be assuming that position of Rabbi Yehuda. Veini suri serano did not kotzel l'shachas mach lebehemi yesh hetel l'isuro b'yom shisha oser atzma yisuro muter im yesh omer koriv. Right? He says on the 16th it's permitted if the omer is brought. Again, same connotation. If the omer is permitted, otherwise it's not permitted on the 16th day. Let's get back to the Gemara. So we have chodosh ein yisur yisur olam. It's not something which continues. you're permitted to benefit, and what was not permitted becomes permitted. Noeg bein ba'oretz bein b'chutz loretz is in effect not only in Eretz Yisrael, even in chutz loretz. Kilayim she'isuran isur olam. If you plant grain next to a vineyard, where it's isurei hano, firstly the prohibition is forever forbidden. It's permanent, permanently not permitted. Visuran isur hano, and you're not permitted to benefit from it. It's isur hano kilokloya kerem. Vein heter lisuran, and it will never be permitted. Right? What's not permitted is not permitted. Erodin she'nina go bein ba'oretz bein b'chutz loretz. So definitely, if chodosh, which is to a lesser degree, has relevance to Eretz Yisrael chutz loretz, so kloya kerem, the provision definitely should apply. Not only it shouldn't be limited to Eretz Yisrael, it should be even chutz loretz. Although it's agricultural based, it's kal v'chomer. That's the kal v'chomer. V'adin le'orla b'shtayim, which the kal v'chomer would apply orla on two levels. What is the two levels? During the three years, it's forbidden forever, right? The 3 yields, the produce, but the produce is forbidden, and also it's Yisrael. No, the third, it doesn't prevail beyond the 3rd year, right? The 4th year, it's permitted. Kloya kerem, whenever you plant it, it's the Nevin permitted to do. No, Chodesh is better. Chodesh is better. Chodesh is much more lenient. No. Again, there's the kal v'chomer. That's why Orla could be drawn with a kal v'chomer from Chodesh. Chodesh you're permitted to benefit from, even when it's forbidden. And not only the Chodesh becomes permitted, and it's applicable both in Eretz Yisrael, chutz loretz, so Orla, which you're not permitted to benefit from. And the Orla will never become permitted, definitely should be applicable not only in Eretz Yisrael, even chutz loretz. Right? That's the kal v'chomer. Has nothing to do. No. Has nothing to do. No Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Nothing to do with Rabbi Yochanan. Yeah. He didn't institute anything. He's just making a statement. Kal v'chomer. That's shloshi. He says 3 mitzvahs.
No, 3 mitzvahs. Which are the 3 mitzvahs?
Orla and kloya kerem. Right? And he says, how do we know? But how do we know this? It's a kal v'chomer. Okay? So now, let's do the bottom Tosus. Very interesting. Just as an introduction to Tosus. Now, what is tevel? Tevel is untithed grain, is tevel. Untithed produce that grows in Eretz Yisrael. Now, if a person eats tevel, what's the liability? Misadei Shamayim. Okay? Koris, Misadei Shamayim. Now, why? Why are you liable for Misadei Shamayim if you eat tevel? So there's a famous Rashi in Yevomis that says, because what is tevel? It's a composite of truma and chulin. Truma v'chulin b'rov zeh. There's an element of truma intermingled in the chulin. So when you eat tevel, you're eating truma. So Tosas asks on Rashi, if that's the case, so why is a kohen not permitted to eat tevel? A kohen, if the basis is the truma, so if you're a zor, you're a non-kohen, okay, that's why you have the liability. But if you're a kohen, you should be permitted, because a kohen is permitted to eat truma. That's Tosas' question on Rashi. So Tosas says, therefore, no, it's exer sakosov. The Torah says you're not permitted to eat tevel until you tithe the grain. Exer sakosov. Has nothing to do with truma being intermingled in the grain. Okay? That's Tosas in Yevomis. Now, we had a Tosas in Sukkah. The Gemara says in Sukkah, esrig shel tevel. If you have an esrig of tevel, one is not yotze with it. You're not yotze. Why you're not yotze? So Tosas says the reason why you're not yotze is because it's esrig ashutrim. If 2 people buy an esrog and they're partners in the esrog, since the esrog does not belong to one individual, that's why you need matonam maslachzir. It has to be fully yours. So since tevel is truma v'chulin muravim zebezeh, since the kohen has a financial interest in the esrog, it's a partnership. That's not why you're not yotze. It's not a contradiction, Tosas. You have many bali Tosas. So Tosas' position in Yevomis is going to one person. Tosas in Sukkah is another person. That's So it's not a contradiction in Tosas. So you see over here also that Tosas. The reason why I'm mentioning it because we see from Tosas here, the Tosas also have such an opinion that Truma, that Tevel is a combination, a composite of Chulin and Truma intermingled with one another. That's going to be seemingly Tosas' position here in kiddushin, not like Tosas Yavamas. Okay, Tosas Yavamas says it's not because that's his kasha and Rashi. Why can't a Kohen eat Tevel? That's his question. Separate. You have to tithe when you tithe. Everybody, nobody disagrees that he's chayv koris. Everybody agrees, right? Everybody agrees. So I mean, so Rashi's a problem. Rashi's a problem. Okay. Eating. You're not permitted using tevel. You're permitted to use tevel. You're not permitted to destroy it. No. It's wasting it. That's wasting it. No liability. You're not permitted. Contaminate. You're not permitted because that has a potential to tithe. Okay, to tithe it. So now. One second. So initially, the Gemara says in Sukkah, there's an argument, are you yotzi with esrog shel tevel? It's a machlokas. So what's the machlokas? This is the way Rashi learns. Rashi learns, if you say that you only need a financial ownership, monetary ownership, so you can't be yotzi. Why? Because it belongs to the Yisrael, or the one who owns the esrog. It's fully his. But if you say that when it says lokachtem lochem means you have to have heter achila, you have to be able to consume it, eat it. You can't. You're not permitted to eat it. That's Rashi. If you're of the opinion that lochem means financially it has to be yours, it's financially yours. But if lochem means it has to be available to you for eating, for consumption, you can't eat it. Wait. Wait. So we have a contradiction in Rashi. So they ask it as a contradiction. Tosafos says Tevel is a partnership. Therefore, you cannot be Yotzei because it's a partnership. Rashi seems to be saying that if you say you only need monetary ownership, you can't be Yotzei. Everybody agrees. An esrog, which is a partnership, you're not Yotzei. So how do we reconcile Rashi? Rashi says that esrog of Tevel, the reason why you have the liability of Kores is because there's Truma intermingled in there. But if it's Truma intermingled there, so Rashi's contradictory from Sukkah. Rashi says you could be Yotzei with an esrog of Tevel. Seemingly it's a partnership between the Kohen and whoever owns the Tevel, whoever owns the esrog. That's the question. Okay? Seemingly it's a contradiction in Rashi. Rashi is contradictory. So there's an answer. There's a sefer. The author's name is Rabbi Yosef Engel. Rabbi Yosef Engel answers it this way, that when does the Gemara says that Truma is moment Kohen. We have Gemara Chulin. If a person goes and is mazik, has Truma, after he ties the Truma, he destroys it. Does he have a liability, financial liability? Could a Kohen come and say, you owe me money, you destroyed my property? So Gemara says, Mom Shein Lo Tovim. That since there's no one Kohen who could claim that he's the Kohen who would have received it, if you give it to the Kohen, you designate, well, designate means more than designation. Let's say you give it to a third party to take possession on behalf of the Kohen, and then you damage it, you destroy it, then you're a mazik, you're a damager. He doesn't have a personal claim. It's a moment shavit. It belongs to Kohanim. But who said I would give it to you? So since no one Kohen could claim that he's the Kohen who would have received it, he's not considered the damagee. Therefore, he has no right to make the claim. So the Gemara says, what about if you would have Makiri Kuna? Let's say he had his set Kohen. He always gives his Truma to this Kohen. So the moment he tithes it, it's immediately that Kohen's. As a result of that, if he damages, he is liable. Because immediately, that Truma belongs to that Kohen. Okay? So he explains it this way. When does it become Mammon Kohen? When does it become the financial asset of the Kohen? Is it when it's intermingled in the before the tithing, or no? It only becomes Moment Kohen only after it's tithed. Okay? So now, wait, no. When does it become the money of the Kohen? When does it become Moment HaShevet? It becomes the asset of the Shevet Kuna. So he explains it this way. In terms of the prohibition of Truma, Truma is already intermingled even before you tithe it. When is the Kohen permitted to eat the Truma? When it becomes his asset. When it becomes the asset of the Shevet, that's when the Torah permits the Kohen to eat it. So that's how he reconciles the two Rashis. Rashi in Yevamis explains why you liable. Why do you have a liability of Korach if you eat Tevel? Because it's an intermingling of what's a composite of Chumah and Truma. So Tosafos says, so why can't the Kohen eat it? Very simple why the Kohen can't eat it. Because when does the Torah permit him to eat it? Only when it's identified as Truma, when it becomes his asset. Prior to tithing, it's not his asset yet. Therefore, even the Kohen, if he eats the Tevel, he has the liability. Okay? But what is Tevel? It's not Esrog HaShutfin. There's no partnership there. It's monetarily, it fully belongs to whoever owns the Tevel. It's his. If you're of the opinion, Lachem means it must be yours, not edible to the one who has it, you could be Yotzei. Okay? That's how he reconciles the two Rashis. No, there is a chiyuv to tithe it. That's separate. That's a separate chiyuv. You have an obligation to tithe it.
I thought it was like if you want to eat it, you have to tithe.
No. You have to give it to the Kohen. You have an obligation to give it to the Kohen. That's something else because it never reached a point where you're obligated to tithe it. But if it's Gemara Malach, you're supposed to tithe it because now you're supposed to give the Truma to the Kohen. You have to tithe it to give to the Kohen. Okay? That's how we but you see, Tosafos in Sukkah disagrees with this because Tosafos says, he's even more extreme than Rashi. Because Tosafos says, why are you not Yotzu with Esrog Shel Tevel? It's Esrog HaShutfin. So we see there the partnership exists prior to tithing. Before you tithe it. We haven't identified the Truma yet. To be continued.